On today's video, we've got an SEC matchup, the state of Tennessee versus the state of Florida. And if you're considering relocating and you're considering either of these two states, we're going to give you some information that should help you make a good, informed decision. Let's get to it. Number one on our list is our cost of living. So when you compare the state of Tennessee and the state of Florida, you need a standard to be able to compare these two states from a cost of living standpoint. So to do that, I'm going to use the World Population Review. A 100 on their scale, cost of living scale is the national average. So anything above that is above, anything below is below. And on that scale, the state of Florida is the 22nd most expensive state at a 102.3. Tennessee is the 10th least expensive state at a 90.4 on this index. Now, let's go even deeper. This cost of living index is broken down into 6 subcategories. Those 6 subcategories are housing, utilities, grocery, transportation, healthcare, and miscellaneous goods and services. So first, let's look at groceries. So Tennessee's score on the index for its grocery items is a 97.8. So just slightly below the national average. Other videos that we have done, and you can see those on our cost of living, those videos have shown that we have a grocery cost of about 10% below the national average. Florida comes in basically right at the national average at 100.3. Next, let's consider the subcategory of healthcare costs. So both states, Tennessee and Florida, rank below the national average. Tennessee's score on this scale is an 88.1, while Florida, who is also below the national average, comes in at a 96.3. So whether you're moving to Tennessee or Florida, you're moving to a state that offers quality healthcare at a below the national average cost, with Tennessee significantly below and Florida a little bit below that national average. Next, let's consider the category of miscellaneous, which involves a lot of the other things that you're just going to do that don't fall into these other 6 categories. And once again, Tennessee ranks significantly below the national average with a score of 92.8 on the scale, which ranks it considerably below the national average. Florida comes in right near the national average at 99.4. So both states do fairly well on the miscellaneous costs, with Tennessee once again just being less expensive than the state of Florida. Next, let's look at our transportation costs. Both states once again are at or below the national average, but Tennessee fares much better in this category again. The score for Tennessee on transportation costs was 90 out of 100, so it is significantly lower than the national average. The state of Florida comes in at 99.4. Once again, right at the national average, but the state of Tennessee, when you consider all your transportation costs, comes in significantly below Florida and that national average. Next, let's look at our utility costs. So our utility costs in the state of Tennessee are fairly reasonable. Florida's the same. Both, once again, coming in below the national average. Both of these states are popular states for people to move to today. Both offer cost advantages over lots of places in the Northeast, out West. But when you compare the two head to head, even on utility costs, once again, Tennessee comes in as the winner. So our utility cost in Tennessee on the index comes in at a 93.2, and Florida comes in at a 96.7. Both significantly below the national average, both offering you savings. Tennessee, once again, just offering you a little bit more. Now, the last category is housing cost. I held that to last because we need to go into more detail, because housing costs are usually one of the biggest pieces of anyone's cost of living. This is where the state of Tennessee excels, and this is where Florida struggles. So on the index to begin with, the state of Tennessee's housing cost on the index is 82.9, showing that it is significantly less than the other parts of the country and many parts of the country, with Florida coming in at 110.5. So this is the category where Florida comes in significantly higher than the national average when you consider your housing costs, and where Tennessee comes in significantly lower than the national average when you consider housing costs. Now, why is that? Well, it's made up of many things. It obviously is purchase price. The cost of housing is one of those factors that make up this index score. But there's some other factors, real estate taxes being one of them. I know here in Knox County, our real estate taxes are very affordable. You know, if you have a home here in Knox County paying Knox County taxes on that real estate home, that home's valued at about $500,000. You're going to expect to pay somewhere around a couple $1,000s a year in total real estate taxes. So that's a big savings and very affordable real estate taxes here in Tennessee. Purchase price here in the state of Tennessee as it relates to housing, the median price of a home here in the state of Tennessee is $384,000. Median price of a home in Florida is $404,000. So you're looking at a significant amount of difference between the two states when it comes just to the median price of purchasing a home, and then everything else after that, the carrying costs, the things that are expensive from real estate taxes on, just continue to provide savings to our residents. Now, I would be remiss in this area not to bring up a current condition that's going on in Florida, which is insurance. Insurance in Florida has become, especially in certain parts of Florida, has become very expensive. It's no longer become expensive, but it's become hard to obtain. You know, in my 15 years as a real estate agent, I am hearing more consistently now than ever that people are very concerned about just being able to get insurance. People who have not had a claim who are telling me that they are already getting notices from their insurance company that they're pulling out of the state and they're not going to renew their policy. So they're struggling to even find another policy at any price. So, you know, our insurance here in Tennessee, we don't have the natural disaster risk that they have in many parts of the country. So it's very affordable. You know, you're going to pay a couple $1,000s or less per year for your insurance on a home, which also continues to provide additional savings to our residents. The second category outside of cost of living that we need to consider is the geographical location of these two states. So Florida is obviously in the south, down the corner of the country, and then Tennessee is in the southeast. This provides Tennessee with a fairly significant geographical advantage for many reasons. We're very fortunate here in Knoxville that we have multiple major interstates coming together. We've also done a video that goes into detail about Knoxville and its geographical location, the advantages that that provides to its residents and to businesses. But it's something that must be considered when you're looking to relocate, because most people still have family in other parts of the country. And from the state of Tennessee, from right here in Knoxville, you can reach the majority, 75 to 80% of the population of the United States in a one-day's drive. And what does that mean? It means that, one, it's an easier drive if you want to run back and see the grandkids, or if you want to get back to see other relatives, or if there's an emergency. It also means that you don't have to jump on an airplane, because we all know that flying can be not only expensive, but a real hassle in today's world. If you're in the state of Florida, because you are so far south, you know, you can't just jump in a car and be in Chicago, be in New York, be in the Midwest, you know, be back up in Michigan. You just can't get there easily in a day's drive. So the geographical location is very important. It's also adding significantly to our growth for our businesses here in the local Knoxville area, because of the ability for these companies to easily get out their goods and receive goods here in the state of Tennessee. So you must consider the geographical location, thinking about things other than just where you live, but the accessibility that you have to other things that you're going to do in other parts of the country. The third large category that I believe we need to consider is the personal freedoms afforded to the residents of these two states. Now, this is the category where Tennessee and Florida both excel. They both are states that allow their residents to make their own choices in many, many scenarios where many parts of the country aren't. They are states that focus their education system on teaching, you know, the sciences, the math, those types of things, and trying to stay out of teaching things that are more controversial and that really just honestly don't belong being taught in the schools. So Tennessee and Florida both do really well in the personal freedom, independent living type category. Both of them are states that you can carry a concealed weapon in for personal protection, which I know in talking to many of you is very important. It's very important to me. Don't want to live in a state where I can't do that. So both Tennessee and Florida, I would say that's a draw. Both are great when it comes to being able to live your life the way that you desire. Okay, the fourth category that we have to consider is natural beauty. So Florida is known for its natural beauty. It has beautiful beaches. We love to vacation in Florida. It has its own type of natural beauty. Tennessee being completely different. You've got the mountains and you can see the beautiful lakes behind me, and then behind that you can see the Great Smoky Mountains rising up, or at least I can. I don't know if you can on camera. But both have great natural beauty that you get to enjoy as a resident of either one of these states. Now, it's different natural beauty, yes. When you're in Florida, it's pretty, but it's different than the pretty that's here in Tennessee. So natural beauty has to be considered. Along with natural beauty comes outdoor activities. It comes the ability to get out and enjoy. And just to be honest with you, driving to work, driving to the daily chores and things that we do in life, taking the kids to the game, whatever. Being able to do that in an environment where when you're driving by, you just take the time to look around and you say, you know, I live in a beautiful place. It relaxes you. It makes you feel better. Florida has its own set of natural beauty. Both of the states are really good in that. I honestly believe that Tennessee's beauty is greater, and obviously I'm biased. I live here. But at the same time, the reason I believe that is because it's so varied. You know, you have not just the beautiful lakes. We've got 8 here in Knoxville that come together in and around Knoxville. But you also have the mountains, the Smoky Mountains. Then you have the natural beauty of the fall when you have all the colors and the leaf changing. And then the natural beauty of spring when all the leaves are coming back out, and the greenness and the different hues of green that we see during that time. So I do like Tennessee, and I'd give it a mark above for its natural beauty. But at the same time, if you're a beach person, you know, and the lakes that are behind me don't do it for you, then the natural beauty of Florida is also going to be something that you're going to enjoy. We've done an entire video on weather. If you'd like more details about it, please go ahead and click on that next. And until next time, guys, I can't wait to see you around town soon.